Alright, so it's been a while since I've posted anything, that isn't kind of music related to my channel, but the reason why is because I've kind of made a vow a long time ago regarding the fact that I've kind of veered off into a lot of political stuff, and it's gotten me into a lot of trouble. That all those videos, thankfully, are now gone. And now I'm going to focus on that musical stuff that my channel is an artist channel. However, how-to videos, well, they're also something that everyone can learn from. And so this is going to be one example of a how-to video, specifically how to use Visual Studio Code to automate the invocation of Rust build commands, even custom ones that involve running stuff in emulators and whatnot. So here goes. So here is the per project settings.json file. This is actually a feature of VS Code that very few people know about, but it's a great workaround for requiring a lot of, custom projects, especially when you're dealing with things like developing OS level stuff, which is what I'm doing here. You have, of course, the all features, the unstable features, both enabled, which is very important because once they're both enabled, then you can set the build command. In this case, I have it set to a different cargo binary than the one that's throughout the system, because it just happens that there is an active pull request to fix a bug in which in the cargo package manager, that's the package manager that Rust has, there's a bug in it that essentially makes it impossible to use the per package target feature with the build standard library feature, and there was recently a pull request that was pushed in order to get that bug fixed. I'm going to link that pull request in the description so you guys can vote on it and help increase demand for it to be merged. So check down in the description. It's going to be there. In the meantime, however, this is actually also pretty significant because it'll also allow you to specify something like cargo boot image as the build command, which again is important if you're writing and testing code very quickly. This can save you a lot of time, as we'll see later on in this video. So here I have another file open, which is tasks.json. And this is where all the magic happens, because you see how here it has the emulator set as a custom run command. Instead of just running the file directly, which is the default, this will actually open every single minor change you make in an emulator, which is huge because it saves you a lot of time. You don't have to type all that in every time you want to test your code. Now, unfortunately, I can't really test this at the moment because of this problem. If I press Control backtick, you see I already tried to build the boot image. It says unknown Z flag specified. And this, quote, unknown flag just happens to be the one that allows you to build parts of the standard library. So it's kind of broken at the moment. Now, this is exactly why I've taken it upon myself to develop this basically as a test for the changes that are about to be merged, because Phil Opperman, who is the developer of this boot image command, he's also made a few OS tutorials, kernel level in Rust, and he's working on a 3rd edition, but can't do it with this kind of breakage. So that's why I've used VS Code in order to hopefully expedite that. But anyhow, watch what happens when I press Control-Shift-B. Obviously, there's no boot image to run because I had that issue before, but look, it actually is launching that whole emulator command just by pressing a simple keyboard shortcut. Now, as the previous sections of this video may indicate, this is obviously very tricky to get off the ground. You need to, first of all, have nightly Rust. You also need to have the Rust Analyzer preview component. So Rust up component add Rust Analyzer preview. You need to do that in order to get that in there. And then you need to also edit these settings and tasks files. But once these are configured, it's just one keystroke and you're done. It's much more efficient than having to type all that manually each time, by far. You don't need to also rely on any shell scripts either. This is a huge deal. And it also is cross-platform. It works across all operating systems as well, obviously. So, Phil, if you're watching this, just know that this is a great backup option. Say, for example, Alex or some of the other members of the core cargo team don't merge these changes that were recently introduced as a PR. This is a fantastic backup option because it makes it possible to, do all this configuring, and you've got the tasks and everything else. This is very efficient once you get started on it. So definitely check it out.